At present, how many users are there? 3. That is, I want to print. When user logged in, the count should increase. When user logged out, that count should decrease. Now, which listener we have to use, what we have to write, think yourself and you answer. Whenever user logged in, count to plus plus. Whenever user logged out, count to minus minus. Think yourself and you answer. In 4 listeners, which listener required? Think yourself and you answer. When user logged in, count plus plus. When user logged out, count minus minus. Think yourself and give answer. Your answer can be right or wrong. Methods are given, interface are given, events are given. You can see the notes and you can give answer. Possible. Say counting number of views program you have seen. Counting number of views. That is different. That count will never decrease. That count will decrease? No. But this is different. At present, how many people are using Gmail server? At present, how many people are using Google server? At present, how many people are using Facebook? Like that, I want to count. That counting required. This count will increase, decrease. When user logged in, count plus plus. When user logged out, count minus minus. Think yourself and give answer. Which listener required? What are the methods required? What we have tried? Where we have tried? Think yourself and give answer. Which one? Context listener, attribute listener, session attribute listener. 4 options are there. Select. Which one? Session listener. HTTP session listener. Next. Solid context attribute listener. Next. Solid context listener. One more. HTTP session attribute listener. All completed. Blindly don't select one answer. Think and give answer. Think and give answer. Your answer, right or wrong, see the notes, think and give answer. HTTP session listener. Okay. Any other? After thinking, give answer. Which listener? HTTP session listener. Next. Which one? How many people answer HTTP session listener? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 12. 21. Okay. How many people answer solid context listener? Okay. How many people answer solid context attribute listener? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people answer HTTP session attribute listener? So majority people no answer. Majority people not selected answer. See, these many classes over. If you think you'll get an answer. If you think you'll get an answer. whenever user logged in, which event generated? So let suppose few people selected Solid context listener. Solid context event when it is generated, whenever web application deployed. Solid context event whenever web application deployed and whenever web application undeployed. Deployment time, undeployment time, it is not related to user. One application developed, deployed, event generated. Then suppose count plus plus in a context initialized. Whenever application undeployed, count minus minus. What it shows? Always one only shows. Context when it is created, whenever web application deployed, but a user logged in, will it execute again? No. So solid context listener also is selected. Say solid context event when it is generated, whenever web application deployed, whenever web application undeployed. Application how many times will deploy? One time. Generally in real time, undeployment will not be there. Once if it is deployed, 24 hours, 365 days, they'll maintain. Any updation is there, maintenance is there, they may undeploy, again they'll modify, they'll deploy. That means, suppose if you write a code there, deployed, one it shows, count plus plus, undeployed, count minus minus. When you will deploy, very first time you will deploy. When you will undeploy, undeployment will not be there. Then always one only shows. So this is not suitable. This is attribute added to context, attribute removed from context, attribute replaced in a context. It is not related to session tracking mechanism. It is not related to login logout. Session tracking method, this is no related. No. Whenever session is created, when session will create, when user logged in, session created, when user logged out, session destroyed. So third one is suitable. In this session, HTTP session listener, how many methods are there? Two methods. What are those? Session created, session destroyed. In a session created, you can write count plus plus. In session destroyed, count minus minus. So third session track, third listener suitable. When user logged in, for that user session ID created, no? User logged in, for that user session ID created. Now then count plus plus. When user logged out, session ID vanished. Then count minus minus. So in that listener, how many methods are there? Two methods. What are those? Session created, session destroyed. Session creation time, count plus plus. Session destroyed time, count minus minus. That value how to retrieve? Add to session variable. Retrieve from session like a context. That's it. See this program outright. See session created. Two methods are there, no? Session created, session destroyed. Session created. Okay. Here, which event generated? HTTP solid, HTTP session event. Suppose HSE. Okay. Here count plus plus. Here session destroyed. HTTP session event. Count minus minus. Like this, one listener class we outright. One listener class you can write, my listener. One listener class, whatever you want, you can write. I written my listener. Whatever you want, you can write. Now here, this count variable you have to place in session variable. Here session variable. Session variable. Here session variable. Here. HTTP session dot set at number of users, something users. After that one count variable. Okay. This is I'll place here. Here users count variable. Count variable placed. Here again HTTP session dot set attribute users count. Now whenever user logged in, session created, then session created method called count plus plus, count will become 1, that 1 placed. This count variable contains 1. When user logged in, again one more user, again session created for that user, then again it is called count plus plus, count will become 2. One more user logged in, count 3. One more user logged in, count 4. One user logged out, session destroyed, this method called count minus minus, it is count updated. Now this one you can display, you can retrieve. Suppose my solid.java. Now you can retrieve. See, solid context, sorry, HTTP session reference dot get attribute. Get attribute, attribute name users. You'll get a count variable. This count views you can display. This count, how many users are there? Count users are there. So previous class program almost same, no? Only difference method names, listener, that's it. Here context. Now session variable. That's it. Right, this one. So at present, how many users are there? That information we can count. Is it over? Suppose whenever request comes to this solid, there I'll write session, then session created, that is created. Okay. Then count plus plus, that will add, that will display. Again, I'll send the request to this program. One more session created, that again created, called like this. But when session is going to be destroyed by default, by default, you studied when cookies are by default destroyed, when sessions are by default destroyed. Cookies are cookies are destroyed whenever browser window is closed. But when session is destroyed, already I given notes after 30 minutes. Not context, not this one. Whenever after 30 minutes automatically destroyed, you can see notes, cookies and sessions. By default, session variables are vanished after 30 minutes in Tomcat server. These all interview questions only. Forwarding, including, redirecting, session tracking, these all. Initialization parameter, context parameter, config, context, these all. I given notes already. After 30 minutes, destroyed. Can we change the time interval? Which method? Set max age for cookie program, not for session. Set max inactive interval. That method we use. Now see. See this solid context linear. Okay, HTTP session linear I'll create. Dynamic web project. HTTP session listener. Next. Generate XML. Finish. Right click, new listener. HTTP session listener. Class name, my listener. Okay, next. Say this listener we are using, HTTP session event. Next, finish. Here by default Java X came, that's what it is showing error. It is Jakarta we have tried. No, say no method. It doesn't show any method because both are default methods, concrete methods. What are the method names are there? What are the methods are there in HTTP session learner? Session created and destroyed. So public void session created, which will take HTTP session event. Okay, it is one method. One more method, public void session destroyed, HTTP session event. Okay, here session created, session destroyed. This is created whenever session is created. You already studied this method. HTTP session HS equal to request dot get session, then session created. Explicitly, if you want to destroy, HS dot invalidate. So whenever get session method of Servlet request, HTTP Servlet request is called, session created. Whenever invalidate method is called, session destroyed. So whenever get session method of HTTP Servlet request is called, then session created, then HTTP session event generated. That is handled by this method. Whenever invalidate method is called, then HTTP session event generated. That event handled by session destroyed method. And not only this one, after time interval, automatically session destroyed. Then also this method called. So whenever session created, this method called. Whenever session destroyed, this method called. But when session is created whenever this method is called in the Servlet, HTTP Servlet request. Session is destroyed, invalidate method if you call also, even after time interval also. That notes I'll give. First of all, see the program. Here count plus plus, here count minus minus. But here if I declare count, that count can be accessed here. That's what outside I'll write. Integer count equal to 0. Okay, integer count equal to 0. Dot count. Now, is it instance variable or class variable or local variable? How many ways to access? Is it valid? Is it valid? But how many ways to access instance variable? 2 ways. What are those? How it is valid? This keyword. Okay, implicitly this keyword present. Count minus minus. Okay, now this count we have to place in session variable. So session record first. For a getting session, get session method. Get session method. This get session method is available in HTTP Servlet request. Here any HTTP Servlet request is there? No. But in this class, get session method also is there. That get session method, this get a session method different. What's the difference is, this get session method, if it is called, session created. But this method in this class also get session method is there. Session is not created. Session ID not created. Okay. It is only accessing purpose we use. See, HTTP session HS equal to HSE dot get session. Now with this, HS dot set attribute. Attribute, you observe. Here first one, parameter string. First parameter string. Second parameter object. Okay. Here, suppose string I'll write. The string is users. Number of users I'm counting. Here count. Now first parameter which type? Is it string or not? Yes. Second parameter which type? This is which type? This is which type? Now second parameter which type it takes? Object. Which type I passed? Is it valid? Is it valid or not valid? If it is valid, how it is valid? If not valid, why it is not valid? It is also core Java, not advanced Java. It is also core Java, not advanced Java. Now, here actual parameter is object class object, but which type I passed? Int. Give me answer. If it is valid, how it is valid? If it is not valid, why it is not valid? It is also core Java, not advanced Java. This is also I taught in core Java class. While teaching collections, I taught. Collections framework time I taught. It is valid or not valid first? Valid? How it is valid? With generics, it is no generic concept in this. Is there any generic concept? Generic means angular brackets. Generic means an angular bracket appears, no? That is diamond operator. In collection, we use generics, but here generic is not there. Now, how it is valid? If it is valid, how it is valid? Online student, 25 answers came, 27 answers came. Okay, they given answers. They given right answers. What is it? After seeing their answers, you are giving auto boxing, upcasting. After seeing their answers, you are giving answer. Auto boxing, upcasting. See, actually what it takes? Object. Okay. What I passed? Int. How it is valid? Okay, you have seen answer. Now just give me answer. Auto boxing, upcasting, you given. How it is valid? No, that is int, that is object. How it is valid? Where is auto boxing? Where is upcasting? Theoretically, you have seen answer. Practically, I want. How it is valid? Into to object auto boxing is there? No. Into to object upcasting is there? No. How? Wrapper class. So int converted into integer wrapper class. Integer. These all I covered in core Java. This int converted into integer. Integer assigned to object. It is auto boxing. It is upcasting. With two features. Int is a primitive data type. It is converted to reference data type. Integer class. Converting the process of converting int to integer is called auto boxing. Subclass object or subclass reference assigned to superclass. It is called upcasting. Auto boxing and upcasting with two features, it is valid. Okay. Core Java, this type of logic, so many are there. In advanced Java, logic is not there. Logical part is very less in advanced Java. Those are core Java concepts only. So it will take object class. Myself, I passed int. How it is valid is int converted to integer with auto boxing feature, integer assigned to object with upcasting feature. That's what it is valid. So int to integer auto boxing, integer to object upcasting, with auto boxing and upcasting it is valid. Okay. Now this is placed in session variable. Same style here also. HTTP session hs equal to hse dot get session. Here hs dot set attribute, same users, that latest count variable if it is updated like this. So here count plus plus, that count added to variable, session variable. Here count minus, that is added to count, session variable. It is updated. Okay. Just count plus plus, count minus minus, this is we are placing in session variable. So this session variable, this will also will set, this is also will set, then count is updated, count is modified. If count is increased, updated, count is decreased, updated, at last updated count value. Now this is listener class. Nodal my listener dot java. My listener dot java. My listener dot java. Core Java most important. Okay, advanced Java is nothing. Don't neglect core Java. Is it over? So in this program, session is not created. I'll give notes. Session is created, get session method is called, but not this get session. So HTTP servlet request. Is it over? After execution of the program, I'll give that notes. Okay. Is it completed? So this is a instance variable. Okay. You can access here also. You can access here also. Implicitly this keyword here. Implicitly this keyword here. Even here also implicitly this. Implicitly this. This count value we are placing in session variable with name users. It is name, it is value. It is name, it is value. Here actual parameter is object class. I passed int, but how it is valid is int converted into integer. This is auto boxing. This is auto boxing. This is auto boxing. And integer assigned to object, that is upcasting with that valid. Into the integer auto boxing, integer to object upcasting. Primitive data type converted to reference data type. That process is called auto boxing. Subclass object assigned to superclass. That concept is called upcasting. Same. In this line also we have that concept. Even in this line also same. So in this case also same. Int converted to integer with auto boxing. Integer assigned to object with upcasting. Int converted to integer with auto boxing. Integer assigned to object upcasting. So in this line also auto boxing upcasting. In this line also auto boxing upcasting. So your actual parameter is object, but count nothing but int. So int explicit, int converted to integer implicitly. Integer converted to object implicitly. Auto boxing upcasting features. Is it over? Now. Wrapper class. Not only collection, not only anywhere. Wrapper class not only collections, anywhere you can use. Next, say right click, new servlet. Package name suppose HTTP session listener. Class name suppose my servlet. Okay. Next. Here whatever you want you can write. Suppose I am writing test. But whatever you write URL pattern, you have to remember you have to write in address bar. Okay. Okay. Next. Which type of request coming by default? Get. So do get. Here what you have to do is first we have to create session. If we create session, then only that program executed. Okay. For creating session, what you have to write? HTTP session HS equal to request dot get session. Session created. Then that method called, that automatically done. So in this line, session variable created, session memory allocated in this line. Okay. Whenever session is created, then session event generated, HTTP session event, that is passed to session created method. So in this line, session created, then session event generated, that is passed to this method. This method count plus plus. Suppose I'll send the request to this program again. I'll send the request to this program again. Again, this is executed. Again, session created. So if I execute, send 10 times, 10 sessions created. If I send 20 times, 20 sessions created. But when it will be logged out, when it will be vanished, after 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it will be vanished. Otherwise, you can change the time. How to change the time? HS dot set max inactive interval. Here it is in seconds. Suppose I'll pass 60 seconds. That means 1 minute. After 1 minute only, session vanished, session destroyed. Then again, what will happen? This method again called, session destroyed. After 1 minute, it is called automatically, because after 1 minute only, session is going to be destroyed. Then count to minus. See that count, latest count, will get it. See, after this, not this one, my solid. Now after this, you can retrieve the value users. How to get value? Get attribute. HS dot get attribute. Attribute return type, what is there? See, object. Suppose I'll write integer n. HS dot get attribute. What is the name I given? Name value pair users. Now this line, valid or not valid? Why it is not valid? This line, why it is not valid? Here, this line, valid or not valid? Not valid. Why it is not valid? So it is valid or not valid, very easily you can give answer. Red color is the no? Seeing that line, you can give answer. It is not valid, right answer. Why it is not valid? Actually, what it returns? Object. Object assigned to int. So why it is not valid? Object, it will return, but I will return int. So object should be converted to integer. After that, assigning to int. That means downcasting or to unboxing. Now here, downcasting must be done by programmer explicitly. That's what not valid. What we have tried in the brackets? What you have tried? Integer. Now here, actually what it returns? Object explicitly converted to which type? Integer. That concept is called downcasting. Integer assigned to int. This concept is called auto unboxing. So in this line, what is happened is like this: object converted to integer, integer assigned to int. So from year to year converted, year to year converted. This is downcasting, this is auto unboxing. Now this n users accessing, we can display print writer pw equal to response dot get writer pw dot println at present n users are accessing this server. Now n is a variable, no? N is a variable. It should be outside the double quotes. What you have to write? Double quotes plus, again plus, double quotes. At present, one user, two user, three user, like that display. For this, if you want to add HTML, you can add HTML, body, BG color, green, text, yellow. Okay, level 1 heading, whatever you want, you can write. pw.println, level 1 heading, body, HTML. Okay, now print writer, Control Shift O. Now it's over. Now see the program. See, right click, run as, run on server, localhost, next, finish. See, now both the programs are not executed now. That is last class program different, this program different. That program executed whenever application deployed, but here deployment time not executed. Whenever session created, executed. So I'll send the request to test. Now, first, what is happened you observe in the program. I send request to this program. Okay, this program here, session created. Session created. Whenever created, this method called. Now here count plus 1. That 1 placed in session variable. Then what will happen? It is retrieved. It is retrieved here. What will be there in 1? That one user displaying. At present, one users are accessing this server. Now again I'll execute. See, again I'll execute. Right click, run as, run on server. Now what it shows? 2 users. Again I'll send request. Run as, run on server. What it shows? 3 users. Okay. Again I'll send the request. What it shows? What it shows? 4 users. Okay. Next, run as, run on server. Now what it should show? 5 users. But what is showing? 1 minute first session vanished. 1 minute completed. That's what 1 is vanished. That's what 4 showing. 2 minutes if you wait, all will be vanished. Again starts with 1. Okay. Session destroyed automatically called. So here, whenever this line executed, session created method called. After 1 minute, session destroyed called. That's what, instead of 5 users, 4 users showing. First session already destroyed. That is the reason it is showing 4. Okay, I'll give you notes. First you write this one. MySoulet.java. my listener, my solid dot java. Okay. So type conversions, primitive type to primitive type conversions are there. Primitive type to reference conversions are there. Reference to reference conversions are there. Reference to primitive conversions are there. So primitive to primitive type, how many conversions are there? Do you know? Primitive data type to primitive data type. Total how many conversions? You forgot. 56 conversions. 56. Out of 56, how many valid? How many not valid? 14. How many done by system? What are those? 19. How many must be done by programmer explicitly? 23. Core Java most important. Yeah, Boolean cannot be converted to other type cannot be converted to Boolean type. Those only 14. Those are primitive type. Primitive to reference, reference to primitive, nothing but primitive to reference is called auto boxing. Reference to primitive is called auto unboxing. Reference to reference, nothing but upcasting, downcasting. So primitive type to primitive type possible, primitive type to reference type possible, reference type to primitive type possible, is all possible. Is it over? In this line, get attribute method, what is returning? Object. Object converted to which type? Integer. Integer. So it is superclass, it is subclass, but it is called downcasting. Downcasting. Integer assigned to which type? Int type. This is called auto unboxing. Auto unboxing. So object class object returns by get attribute method. That object class object explicitly converted to which type? Integer type. That concept is called downcasting. When downcasting is valid, already upcasting should be there, as well as explicit type conversion, then only valid. Upcasting already completed in previous program. Upcasting should be there, explicit type conversion should be there, then only valid. Okay. That integer assigned to int. This is called auto unboxing. Converting reference type to primitive type. That is auto unboxing. Integer to int. Corresponding reference type to primitive type. Say, get attribute method returns object class object. Object class object explicitly converted to integer type. That is downcasting. Integer converted to int. That is auto unboxing. With that line valid. But if you write int also valid, directly if you write int also valid, it works. No error. So instead of writing integer directly int, you can write. Then downcasting, auto unboxing here only completed. Just later what will happen? Int assigned to int. That type. That is also valid. Now here, whenever this line is executed, session created. Whenever this line after 16 seconds, session destroyed. That write it. In the above example, session is created whenever get session method of HTTP session interface is called. HTTP solid request. Is called. In the above example, session is created whenever get session method of HTTP solid request is called. In the above example, session is created whenever get session method of HTTP solid request is called. Next, session is destroyed after 1 minute. Session is destroyed after 1 minute because I given time interval 1 minute. Session is destroyed after 1 minute because 60 seconds I given. 60 seconds. That means 1 minute. Now, whenever session created, what will be happen? When session destroyed, what will happen? The series of actions. I'll show you. Note down. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. the following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. First of all, when session is created, whenever get session method of HTTP servlet request is called. So this line, okay. Whenever get session method of HTTP servlet request is called, then session created. Now given here notes. In the above example, session is created whenever get session method of HTTP servlet request is called. In this line, session created. Then what will be happen? I am giving here. Then what will happen is HTTP session event. HTTP session event is generated by web container. HTTP session event is generated by web container. It is passed to session created method. It is passed to session created method. Session created method body. Executed. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. HTTP session event is generated by web container. It is passed to session created method body executed. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is created. See, whenever session created, first event generated. Next, that event passed to session created method. Session created method body executed. Whatever you write, that is executed. I return counting number of views, number of users, count plus plus. That is placed in session variable. Same style. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is destroyed. The following series of actions done by web container whenever session is destroyed. When session is destroyed, in this example, after 1 minute, after 60 seconds. Session is destroyed after 1 minute. Okay. First one. Same. HTTP session event is generated by web container. It is passed to session destroyed method. Session destroyed method body executed. Session destroyed method body executed. So HTTP session event is generated by web container. It is passed to session destroyed method. Session destroyed method body executed. Is it over? Say, whenever session created these three, whenever session destroyed these three, session is created whenever get session method of HTTP solid request is called. Session is destroyed after 1 minute. In our example, that depends. By default, session is vanished after 30 minutes. But I change your time interval. I change your time interval to 60 seconds. That is the reason 1 minute. Even invalidate method is called then also. So then time interval possible, invalidate method also explicitly we can do. Say, first you will send the request to this program. First you will send the request to this program. This program, this is executed. Whenever this is executed, event generated. That event passed to this program, this method. Then it is executed. This count placed in session attribute, session variable. After 1 second, automatically this is executed. This again count is updated in the session variable. That count, it is printed in users because that count only we retrieved here. Users, this is suppose if you want count also you can write variable name. Their count I given, here n I given. Whatever you want you can write. Okay. So session destroyed, session executed like this, counting number of users. Counting number of users, this one. But here what I said, whenever session is created, whenever this line is executed, HTTP session event generated, that event passed to session created method. The method is available in my listener class. But how server knows it is in my listener class? That is with XML file. So otherwise you write this XML file also better. Say your web.xml is there. It knows with this program only. Here, my listener. Okay. This XML file also write it better. One program. Web.xml. Here configured. That is the reason it is working. This welcome file still I didn't explain. This I'll explain. Now like this configured. So my listener class here already configured. That is the reason it goes to my listener class. Otherwise, how server knows it is in my listener? With this program only. With this program only, server can recognize it is in my listener. So whenever session is created, then session created method called. The method is available in my listener. How server knows it is in my listener? With this configuration. With this configuration only, it knows. Instead of XML file, can we use annotation? Yes, annotation also you can write. Just at web listener, you are right. That's it. but no URL pattern, nothing. Only at web listener. That's it. Because here your URL pattern will not be there for this. You cannot execute. That is server executes. You are not going to send the request also for this listener. Solid you are executing, that's what URL pattern. But listener automatically executed. Is it over? When session is created in this program, whenever get session method of HTTP Servlet request is called, okay, then HTTP session event generated. That event passed to session created method. The method is available in which class? My listener class. My listener, how server knows in my listener? With XML. See here, we already configured my listener. That's what it goes there. When session is destroyed in this program, after 1 minute, then session HTTP session event created, that generated, that event passed to session destroyed method. Session destroyed method in which class present? My listener. How server knows? With this XML. Okay. Up to here, listeners completed. Tomorrow filters. Okay. Tomorrow filter program.